Welcome back to Perfect Timing, everybody. And this is another episode of the Book Club. And today I'm joined by a very special guest and a very good friend of mine. How you doing today? Midnight Menace.
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. How about yourself, bro?
I'm doing well, brother. God blesses us each and every day. And it's good to see you, man. I ain't seen you. It feel like it's been a couple years, bro. How you been?
Yeah, I think the last time I was on Perfect Timing was...
It was a studio session. We was in Bernie.
Session. Yeah, with Nate. It's been a little minute, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to be home, good to be back. Hello to all the people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in the studio now doing y'all thing. Word. So
yeah.
Glad to be back. I'm saying it's good.
every single iteration of this, bro.
Facts,
you ain't saying young, bro.
I'm proud of
From
y'all.
the basement to actually really taking it serious, bro.
Dang, I forgot about that episode. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that ain't never come out. It couldn't. We was talking a little too stupid. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
But man, first and foremost, thank you for joining me in the library today.
Sure.
So this most recent iteration of what we're doing today is just I like to my favorite quote about it is, if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in the book. So I like to read. So that's why we
I'm not mad at that. Okay.
We are young men who are educated,
and
we choose to read books. So you know what I'm saying? We're just spreading that knowledge of what we've learned with the people who may not do exactly what we do all the time.
Got you.
You feel what I'm saying?
For sure.
So what book did you bring to the book club today?
Well, I didn't bring a physical copy like these beautiful ones here, you know what I'm saying? But and I'm actually more of an audiobook person. So the last book that I read was actually the autobiography of Malcolm X, as told by Alex Haley. It took me a couple months to finish it, just because when I do audiobooks, I do have to kind of like pace myself. And then something that's like that long and that, like, you know what I'm saying, loaded, like, it is kind of like, it takes a little minute to watch out.
Nah,
it takes a little minute to
that's called discipline.
It takes a little minute to like digest that. You know what I'm saying? So
go ahead, bro. This is a very long time frame, bro. That's one of the things you can't. I don't want to hear you say nothing where I'm not gonna give you an inch. Pause. You see, now we even.
All right, go ahead, bro. You got it, bro.
All right. Go ahead.
Nah, but you know what I'm saying? For all those that don't know, I mean, Malcolm X is a very prominent figure in the black community. I've been trying to get more with it, like, just get more knowledgeable about some of the different things that like everybody knows who Malcolm X is, but they don't really know like his story in whole. If you haven't seen Spike Lee's movie, and even Spike Lee's movie doesn't cover everything like that's portrayed in that book, even as long as that movie is like 3.5 hours, but it was still a form of
entertainment versus his actual story.
Exactly, yeah. So just kind of been taking my time, or not taking my time, I'm finished with it now, but I made sure to take my time and really digest like chapter by chapter to understand, and then pull like a gem from each chapter that I was reading. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about? We're gonna talk about Malcolm X regardless, but like Alex Haley is another really cool person. I know he wrote Roots as well, right?
That's a fact.
So do you know why he chose the autobiography of Malcolm X, or like what made him do that?
I think in the beginning of the book, there's like I think it's called an epilogue. I can't remember.
Epilogue,
the first few pages of the book starts with Alex Haley kind of saying like a few days before Malcolm X died, they were just having like a conversation, and he decided to kind of just sit there and tell him like his life story. So everything, like, he kind of just relayed it all out, and he had like recordings of it, but he was writing different notes and points and different things down to like really ensure that everything was portrayed in the book. So like the first like 3 pages of the book is kind of Alex Haley like himself saying like, this was a recent conversation I had with my friend Malcolm, et cetera, and he kind of just goes down the list of like, this is his life. And you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that it was like a specific reason why he decided to do it, but it ended up being one of the bigger books because it was something that came out like a little bit after his death, and people didn't know that it was something that was already in the works. So yeah, like it's crazy how life works. I guess that's like the easiest way to say that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous to think about.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I honestly think like the subconscious always knows. You know what I'm saying? So to sit down with a accomplished author like Alex Haley or somebody like that and tell your whole life story, you kind of know. You know what I'm saying? And when you letting me know something like that, I believe that man knew as well.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And especially towards the end of the book when he started talking about, because I think he talked to Alex not too far after his pilgrimage when he went back to Mecca. So I think that like he had a feeling that when he came back something was going to happen. He was already kind of beefing with Fard Muhammad and like you know, different people within the nation like around that time. That was like around the time they kicked him out and he left, but was still just kind of leaning more into his faith and not the Nation of Islam. So it was a lot of it's a very heavy book, but when you finish it, like I said, you get different gems from throughout the entire thing. So
I got you.
Good read though, for sure.
So what are some of the things that you took away from this book? Well, before I ask you that, can you tell me a little bit about the life of Malcolm X that you learned?
Yeah, for sure. So Malcolm was born. I can't remember. It's been, like I said.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
been a long time since.
If you don't know, it's your fault.
Yes, yeah, that's a fact. Y'all should have read it by now. You know what I'm saying? But so Malcolm was, of course, I can't remember exactly what state he was born in, but I know at a young age, his family was like chased out by racists, and they ended up like killing his father. So when his dad died, he stayed with his mom, and he had like other siblings as well. His mom ended up going like quote unquote crazy. I don't like to throw that term out like that, but she ended up going.
She suffered from mental health.
Yeah, from mental health issues, and they took all of the kids away from their mom.
He had a bunch of siblings, right?
Yeah, I think he had 3 siblings if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
and they separated all of them. So he got sent to an orphanage in Boston, and it's not funny, but like his time there was just the least I could say it was rough. Mm-hmm. Like, and then he kind of fell into like the wrong crowds, different things that he shouldn't have been doing, and that's when like the whole thing of the Detroit Red thing came up. As time went on, he continued to. There was a girl that he met in Boston. She moved to Detroit, and then he would go back and forth seeing her. So he would portray himself as a specific way while in Detroit, and that was when he got the name Detroit Red. He started running with this dude that was like a pimp at the time out there, and that's when the whole who he was kind of got picked up. Like he started drinking, smoking, working in different nightclubs, just doing a bunch of stuff that wasn't in what people know him for. Mm-hmm. But then he ended up getting locked up for like burglary with the dude that turned him into Detroit Red. And while he was locked up, that was when he would write. He found out about the Nation of Islam while he was in prison through like the books that he was reading, mm-hmm. and he would write Mustafa Muhammad like the entire time in Harlem, and they would just send letters back and forth and just talking out. He developed a relationship with him through that. So when he got out, he immediately went to Harlem and then joined the Nation of Islam and started like working with them. So it's a really interesting. Of course, there's like other intricate things, like some of his experiences in like the nightclubs of Boston, and mm-hmm. His first experience with a white woman, and how he used to be a pimp and doing just a bunch of. It was
never would have thought.
Yeah, this was before. You know what I'm saying?
Before he
got his righteousness. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a great read though, to kind of just see like the growth that one person can have in their entire life, like starting from like somebody who is an orphan, like, and then split from their family, left alone. You wouldn't expect them to be now known as like one of the biggest fighters, if not probably the second biggest fighter for African Americans in history. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's a dope read for sure.
It's beautiful. And to speak on what you just said, man, I think that all of us go through that period of growth, especially when you separate, and you and your art, because you've been making music for as many years as I've known you now.
Yeah, probably.
How have you grown since you've left your hometown and left your city and established yourself somewhere else?
That's a good question. Because I've hopped around, I kind of have had different stints of like being concrete in different places. Like in New Orleans, I had my stint where I felt like I was climbing up to where I was meeting different people. And then now that I'm in Charlotte, you know what I'm saying, it's like I'm kind of restarting all over again, but I'm seeing the same exact things happen. Like me working in different fields, just meeting different people, you know what I'm saying, all creatives. Mm-hmm. And I'm just continuing to climb and meet people. And it's been a challenge having to kind of restart twice, because I had my people that mess with me in Maryland, I had my people that mess with me in New Orleans, and now I'm doing it again in Charlotte. So it's been a challenge, but the book itself has kind of like pushed me to don't let a new city be a reason why you don't, you know what I'm saying, push exactly what it is that you want to achieve. Mm. So like how Malcolm was in Detroit still getting his stuff off. You know what I'm saying, on the negative tip, but still getting his stuff off. Same thing in Boston. I'm doing the same exact thing like how I was doing in New Orleans, still now doing in Charlotte. So yeah, bro.
I love that, man.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's good to see. Now, I'm going to let you finish, but it really is good to see like that nothing, and I'm glad that it's another thing that you've learned from this book, is that nothing can stop you, and where you are is just, that doesn't change who you are.
That's a
and
fact.
What you want to do.
That's a fact, yeah.
So I think that that's one of those big things that we try to, I try to express that to folks, but it's much easier lived as an experience.
Nah, for real.
So, what is that like to just give somebody a tip who's having a little bit trouble in that new area to try and stay in their field or something like that? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to don't doubt yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of most times with most creatives, when you're moving into like a different like space, you had that thought of like, are they gonna mess with me the same exact way these people mess with me? Because it is like a completely different path. Like the people that like the average person in Charlotte listen to, is 9 times out of 10 it's not gonna be the same people that the average person in Maryland listen to. So it's
difference. It's a difference.
Yeah, so you just have to kind of find like different ways to, you know what I'm saying, adjust but still stay true to yourself. And you just have to kind of jump into it like head first. Like don't think about it. Just put it out and it's gonna find the right people and you'll be all right. Like just network, do what you do, and then it'll happen, bro. Like that's I learned that here. I learned that in New Orleans, and it's starting to work again in Charlotte. So just jump into stuff head first. Let it be known what it is that you do, and do it confidently. You know what I'm saying? Do it well or don't do it at all, and people will gravitate towards you.
I love that. What I call that, well, what I consider that is giving God room to operate in your life.
Facts. That's a fact.
Faith without works is dead.
Yep.
You know that.
Yep.
So, but it's when you put yourself out there, there is so much on the other side of that. Yeah. Because once you do it, art, you have to leave art up for interpretation.
That's a fact.
And you have to give it to somebody else. You have to put yourself out there for your art to be appreciated.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's real easy to just sit on stuff and try and make it perfect for yourself. But the sooner you let someone know, okay, this is what I do, you're gonna have help.
That's a fact.
As well.
That's a fact. I mean, like it's no different than kind of the when I was doing the EP that I got the pod to like kind of collaborate with me on.
Shout out Perfect Timing already.
Perfect Timing EP.
Oh, God,
y'all should go stream that.
Damn, that's my nigga.
Y'all should go stream that Perfect Timing EP.
Yeah,
but
still do that.
When I got y'all to kind of work on that project and like the different, like even the interlude, the intro, different things like that, and then even just taking like even down to the cover with like how it was called Perfect Timing. It was the prayer hands with the Rolex on it. You know what I'm saying? So that entire thing was just like just trusting God's timing. Everything will be what it be. Like all you need is faith the size of a mustard seed. You know what I'm saying? And everything will work out.
And that's one of those things that like I do tell people like perfect. That's literally what perfect timing is. Yep. Nah, but that's God's timing.
Yep.
There is no such thing. I'm a procrastinator, dog. I do not have good timing, bro. I be off.
I'm dead.
All that stuff, but one thing that I do know to be true is that God's timing is always perfect.
Yeah.
And the things in the life that I have walked and the faith that I do have, bro, I've been blessed to know that, okay, since I know that this is what I deserve and that I'm working towards it, I'm going to get it.
That's a fact.
Because I have a much big higher power behind me.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.